Thank you for joining me this afternoon. We are going to be looking at semicolons, and we will explain why you use semicolons within different sentences. So first of all, to be able to know why we use semicolons, you need to know what they look like. And when we talk about semicolons, we are speaking about a bit of punctuation. It looks like a full stop that is balanced on top of a comma, okay? And when you see it within writing, it will be the comma is on the line. So it will look like that. And it basically means that you are taking a breath, and it isn't a big enough breath for it to be a full stop, but it is more of a breath than you would take if it were a comma. So that is what we mean when we talk about semicolons. And there are a few different ways that we use them. So three main uses. The first use of them is when you have two main clauses that are very closely linked. And sometimes we use semicolons if you have a compound sentence that is two main clauses that has a fanboys conjunction in the middle of it. If you take out the fanboys conjunction and put in a semicolon, it links those two main clauses together. The second reason is we use semicolons to separate items in a complex list. And we will look a little bit more at what complex lists are in a minute. But it means that when we have the list, it is more than just one worded list. It will be phrases often within that list. And then the final reason is there are a special group of adverbs that we use semicolons before when these types of adverbs are used as conjunctions within sentences. So those are the three reasons for using semicolons. Now, a big warning. You must never, ever, ever, never use a semicolon to link a main clause with a subordinate clause, okay? Whenever you are using semicolons to link things, it is always two main clauses, okay? So make sure you are not using semicolons if you have a subordinating conjunction. All right, so that is just a word of warning there. So let's look at those three reasons in a little bit more detail. So the first reason, if we have two main clauses that are closely linked. So our first main clause here, it was freezing. That's the main clause. It makes sense on its own. It has the subject, it has the verb in it. The second main clause, he was grateful for his jacket. It makes sense on its own. It has the subject he, it has the verb was. Now, you could put a coordinating conjunction in there to make that compound sentence. It was freezing and he was grateful for his jacket. Or what you can do is put the semicolon, because the ideas are closely linked, you can put the semicolon between it. So it was freezing, he was grateful for his jacket. I'm linking the two ideas together in one complete sentence, okay? So those are the semicolons for joining the two main clauses. Next, we use them to separate items in a complex list, okay? And in a complex list, it wouldn't just be one word. So I might talk about a list with places. So it could be that I'm talking about London in England Edinburgh in Scotland, and you've got a list of places. Because it is a phrase list, you would have the semicolons between those places. You might have items with descriptions. Because it's more than one word, you need the semicolons to separate it. You might have a list of people, but you have the person and their occupation. So I would have, I don't know, Mr. Smith, the caretaker, and Mrs. Brown, the head teacher. I would need semicolons between the names to show that it is only 2 people rather than 4 people. So let's look at some examples so you can see what I mean. So if I look at this, I have got a list of people, and if I use commas between all of these, it would sound like I had more people than actually are there, because if I use commas, it would sound like I had my younger brother, I had Max, I had my older sister, I had Lisa, and I had my younger sister Kayla. Okay, now I've not got all of those people with me because of the way that the sentence is punctuated. I have got my younger brother Max is one person. Max is my younger brother. Okay. I also have my older sister Lisa. And then I have my younger sister Kayla, and that is 3 different people, whereas if I had used commas, it would have been 6 different people. So it is using those semicolons to clarify the number of people. Okay, so that is semicolons within list. The next one, you may or may not have heard of the term that I am going to use, but when we talk about adverbs, there are a group of adverbs that are called conjunctive adverbs. And conjunctive adverbs, they act a little bit like a conjunction in a sentence. They link ideas together. And when we talk about conjunctive adverbs, this here is a short list. If you have a copy of the Green Word Map book, there is a much longer list in there, but the conjunctive adverbs, you come across them a lot within your writing, and they act as if they are a conjunction. Now, when we use these, we need to punctuate with a semicolon, okay? And what we have to do is we have to put a semicolon before the conjunction. So accordingly is the conjunction, and then you are putting a comma after the conjunction. Okay, so it was clear the ship was heading into a severe storm. Accordingly, the captain turned back to shore. So you've got your semicolons, then the accordingly, then a comma. And then the next example, we should exercise regularly. So I've got my semicolon first, then I have my conjunctive adverb likewise, and then after the adverb, we have the comma. Okay, so I hope that you have found the short video helpful. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you join me again soon.